Hello and good evening everyone. We are students from course Siasatan Jenayah Melalui Kaedah Saintifik with course code LMFF1512. So for today's video, me, Nurul Izzati binti Omar Baki, and my groupmate Nurliana Shazrin binti Muhammad Yani are going to talk about a topic called DNA testing save life. Before we talk about DNA testing, we need to know about what is DNA. DNA, or the full name is deoxyribonucleic acid, is a hereditary material in human and almost all other organisms. Most DNA is located in a cell nucleus and we call it as nuclear DNA. DNA also can be found in the mitochondria and we call it as mitochondrial DNA or mtDNA. DNA is a molecule that carries genetic information for the development and functioning of organisms. DNA is made of two linked strands that wind around each other to resemble a twisted ladder, and we call it as double helix. The information in DNA is stored as a code made up of four chemical bases, which is adenine, guanine, cytosine, and also thymine. The sequence of the base along DNA's backbones encode a biological information such as the instruction for making a protein or RNA molecule. Human DNA consists of about 3 billion bases, and 99.9% of those bases are all similar in all people. That 0.1% contain variation that influence our uniqueness and also determine our individuality that make us different from one another.
Next, I will explain what is DNA testing. DNA testing, also known as genetic testing, that involve obtaining DNA from a sample of cells in your body to identify specific genes, chromosomes, or proteins. The purpose of doing DNA testing are to confirming or ruling out an inherited genetic disorder, selecting drugs based on your genetic profile. There are several hundred genetic tests available, such as blood, urine, saliva, body tissues, bone, or hair. Lastly, the purpose is to assessing your risk of developing or passing on a genetic disorder. There are three types of DNA testing. First is Y-DNA testing, mitochondrial DNA testing, and autosomal DNA testing. Now, let me explain more detail about Y-DNA testing. Y-DNA testing used by people with a Y chromosome to research their patrilineal ancestry. They can trace patrilineal ancestry through the male line, and it also useful for researching biological father's male line. Only around half the population, typically biological males, have one. Disadvantage of using Y-DNA testing is it can only trace the paternal half of your genetic heritage. While mitochondrial DNA testing are used to trace a person's matrilineal mother's female ancestry using the DNA in his or her mitochondria. Mitochondria is the powerhouse of cells that pass down from biological mother's egg. It only can trace your biological mom's female line using mtDNA testing. Everyone can take a mitochondrial test to trace a matrilineal line. An mtDNA test also can be used to trace a genetic line back in time, thousands or even 10,000s of years. A mtDNA test can only trace a part of your genetic lineage, the biological woman on your maternal line back in time. Lastly, autosomal DNA testing. Autosomal DNA testing are used to measure your autosomal chromosomes, which make up the majority of your DNA. It can inherit these chromosomes equally from both of your biological parents. Autosomal DNA tests have the ability to analyze the DNA from more of your ancestors than the other types of DNA tests. For instance, an autosomal DNA test can find genetic information about both your maternal and paternal grandfathers. Let me share some extra information about chromosomes. DNA comes in long strands called chromosomes. Humans typically have 23 pairs of chromosomes for a total of 46. There are two types of chromosome, which is autosomal chromosomes and sex chromosomes. Autosomal chromosomes have 22 matching pairs and made up from bulk of DNA. An autosomal DNA test looks at the DNA from these 22 chromosome pairs, while sex chromosomes made up of X and Y chromosomes from different sizes and functions. People usually have either a pair of X chromosomes and Y chromosomes.
We can deny that DNA testing has played an important role in our daily life, especially in forensic science. There's three importance of DNA testing that we can come out to, which is the first one is identification and individualization. DNA testing allow forensic experts to identify individual with high degree of accuracy. Like we all know, each person's DNA is unique, except for identical twins, making it an invaluable tool for distinguish one individual from another. This individualization aspect is crucial in criminal investigation, where DNA evidence recovered from crime scenes can be compared with known samples from suspects or databases. Through DNA testing, forensic scientists can match DNA profile found at the crime scene to those of suspects or victims. The next one is cold cases resolution and criminal justice system integrity. DNA testing has revolutionized the investigation of cold cases, which are unsolved crimes that has remained dormant for an extended period. Advances in DNA technology has enabled forensic scientists to examine the evidence from cold cases, leading to the identification of previously unidentified suspects and the resolution of long-standing mysteries. By applying DNA testing to cold cases, law enforcement agencies can bring closure to victims' family and hold suspects accountable for their action and also ensure the integrity of criminal justice system. And lastly, DNA testing also help in crime scene analysis and reconstruction. DNA analysis play a vital role in crime scene investigation and reconstruction. Forensic scientists can collect DNA evidence from various sources such as blood, saliva, hair, skin cell, and bodily fluids found at the crime scenes. By analyzing this evidence, they can reconstruct the sequence of events and piece together what occurred during the commission of the crime. DNA testing can provide crucial information about the identities of the suspect, victim, and other individuals present at the scenes, helping law enforcement agencies to build a comprehensive understanding to the crime. In a conclusion, DNA testing stands as a cornerstone of modern forensic science, revolutionizing criminal investigation and contributing to the integrity of the justice system. Its unparalleled ability to identify individuals, reconstruct crime scenes, exonerate the innocent, and resolve cold cases has profound implications for law enforcement, judicial proceedings, and also societal trust. As technology advances, DNA testing continues to evolve, offering ever greater precision and reliability in forensic analysis. However, its power also underscores the need for ethical consideration, ensuring that its application remains guided by principles of fairness, accuracy, and respect for individual rights. With its capacity to uncover truth hidden within the molecules of life itself, DNA testing remains as indispensable tool in the pursuit of justice truth.